Hey everybody, welcome to 2025. For my first video of the year, I wanted to do something a little bit different. It's still going to be about guitars, go figure, but check this thing out. This is an Ibanez Gem, or a Prestige Gem, or a Gem Prestige. Either way, it's a pretty awesome guitar. Oh my, I didn't even check this out. Woo! Look at this thing. Okay, so there's one problem with this guitar right now. It's obviously made of lucite, acrylic, or something similar. It's got all cool, clear plastics all over. I mean, it's so unplayed that even the pickguard plastic hasn't been taken off. That's the only reason it even looks a little bit hazy. But this little battery cover back here is broken. And so I figured I have access to a laser cutter. I grabbed some Amazon 2mm lucite sheets. So I'm going to take you through the process of basically recreating the little plastic parts, because why not? And everyone loves a cool little DIY. Plus, it's about guitars, and we'll get some cool guitar noises also. So grab a coffee, bourbon, beverage of choice, whatever you want, and let's start working through recreating that little cover. Okay, well, the first step to recreating this piece is going to be taking it off the guitar. I'm also going to get a bunch of measurements here because I'm just going to measure the cavity it fits into as well as the piece itself, and then create the drawing based on all of my measurements. Realistically, that's just because it's an easy square-ish piece, and we'll see once we get some measurements down. If I was going to create this piece, for example, it might be easier, and I'll show you later in the video maybe, it might be easier to take this out and then just trace it in some software, but because this is pretty much a square, we'll just take some easy measurements. So let's see what we are dealing with. Okay, so right off the bat, a little bit different than what I thought. The piece isn't cracked. Well, I mean, it's cracked. The piece isn't just cracked, it's actually completely broken into distinct pieces. I don't know, can you guys see the different pieces here? It's like clear on clear. But, yeah, right through the screw holes, as you'd imagine. Okay, so we're gonna have to recreate a square piece with some radiused corners, screw holes in the right locations to match the body. We're obviously not gonna mess with that. We're not gonna drill new holes. We're just gonna recreate exactly this piece, brand new, not broken, and countersink the holes. All right, so let's take some measurements. I mean, for the overall dimensions, it might be easier to just get the inside dimensions of what this has to fit in. And plus or minus a couple thousandths is going to be what we're after here. And even that's tighter than necessary. So this is going to be 2.6 wide. We'll call this width, and we'll call this height. just gonna draw it out because I'm gonna have to redraw this in computer software. So we say 2.6 by 2.4. So let's just draw that out. Geez, if I haven't said this already in the video, this is gonna be a trial and error kind of thing. So I kind of expect to measure a certain radius, and then I don't know if it's exactly even here or if I'm going to end up having to place the radius like off, like is the actual center of this radius equal on the sides and on the top placement. I don't know. We're going to find that out. If I could just do simple radius here, but it's in the 0.6 to 0.8. It could be just 0.75 inches unless it's millimeters, and then it's a 15 millimeter. Could be close, but we're going to say 0.6 to 0.7. All right, so let's go take these measurements that we got here and go recreate this part in the computer, and then we will, basically the process here is going to be cut the part on a cardboard template, and then once we have verified, maybe we'll have to adjust. It's going to be a trial and error thing. So I expect to cut a couple cardboard parts. Once we find that, oh yeah, this is exactly where it needs to be, then we'll cut the plastic part. Not that plastic is incredibly expensive, but why waste the good material if we have, who doesn't have 50 Amazon boxes lying around, right? So we'll do that first. All right, welcome to the desk. We are going to jump into the xTool design software. Software that works with the xTool laser machine that we're going to use to cut out the plastic parts. But let's dive in and recreate the part we're looking to do. So here we go. Just going to make a new blank project here. Okay, software opens up. This will interface with the laser once we turn the laser on. But this is going to be a simple rectangle. This gets pretty easy, so I might even just fast forward through this and basically save you the trial and error piece, but we might just go through here and create what we need to create, and then I'll show you the final product. Cutting some prototypes and then the final product. So here we go. So I'm pretty new to this software. I've used a lot of other things before for this kind of approach, but some softwares have very obvious guideline, like ruler things that you can position stuff around. And this lets you set position, but I think since I don't really know how to do it, I'm just going to create some other rectangles of an exact dimension and then use the snap to corners and stuff to position these things. So if I make this 0.2 inches wide, then I know that it'll go there. If I make this 1 inch high, let me unlock that. So now I know that the center of that hole, right, when I was measuring from the corner, let's see if I can get these things to snap. Okay, they're there. So now I know this circle is going to go right there because that's where I measured the center of that circle to go. So it was the same on the other side, which means I could use this guideline. Okay. Just copying some features here. If we get rid of what we were using as a guideline, this is now pretty much our piece. Now, what I expect is, you see where I typed in the 0.6 radius. I don't know how exact that's going to be. So we're going to go cut a few pieces out of cardboard on the laser. I'll film a couple pieces being cut, and then we will see how they fit. And I'll probably spare you the reiteration of like cutting multiple parts if we find out that we need to go and modify them. So here we go. So now we've loaded our, cut up Amazon box just so that we can get a template. And again, we're gonna cut a couple because I have a feeling that we're gonna do some iterations around what the exact dimensions are. But let's get this cut, and then I'll join you back over at the guitar body and we'll see where we landed. Here we go. All right, so we are back at the guitar, and after a few iterations, we got a piece that fits oh so nicely. Ended up being a 0.7 inch radius around the corner, and as you can see, well, that's just how these things go. You know, trial and error, especially when it's easy to reel off a couple options like that, but we found a template that works after 0.6, 0.65, 0.75, and then we landed at 0.7 to get the perfect fit. So a couple of trial and error on cardboard templates, and we ended up with a piece that fits really nice. And also, while I was at it, while I have the guitar here and while I could take the plastic parts off that, you know, might break, I figured why not just go and trace and make the other parts that are easy to make. I haven't done the pickguard because that requires taking the entire guitar apart, and not sure I want to get into it because it's not broken, it's in good shape. But I now have the templates for these Ibanez Prestige Gem parts should anybody need a replacement one of these guys. So very cool. Couple trial and errors again on those. And now it's time to cut it out of plastic, which I have received and I have in stock now, and we will finish up this project. This is a similar thing though with the material in that I'm going to go back and forth and find the best cutting settings for the material. So it's a couple iterations, just cutting out some really small circles and things to get the best edge out of the laser cutter. And then we will, next time you see this, it'll be done and have a nice clear cover that's brand new, not broken into a few pieces. Okay, check it out. That is, after the countersinking too, that is the acrylic piece. It's gonna fit right in there. I have test fit it, and then I need a little razor blade to pop it out because it's a really nice fit. But I took a countersink just by hand and went into the holes and matched. And I picked a countersink that matches the flare of the screws we're gonna use. And I countersunk the holes to the depth where, you know, the screw sits flush as it should. And so now all we have to do is peel this off and install it. I'm going to fast forward and save you the frustration of me trying to peel this off because this is always a nightmare on a clean cut. That is a delightfully clear piece. Now let's see, gotta wipe off my forensic evidence, also without scratching the nice brand new clear plastic. Pretty good. Okay, no fingerprints, no smudges. Check that out. Brand new cover. All done. All right, so let's go back to the room and check it out. Back in the room. Thanks for watching the video. As you guys can tell, I love doing this stuff. I mean, the DIY aspect, I love guitars, anything to do with them. Pedals, effects, amps, software, simulations, it's all awesome. Just having so much fun doing all this stuff, and I want to do more of this DIY kind of thing on the channel as well. You know, taking parts that are no longer working and recreating them or modifying them. So let's check out the guitar, show it off one more time. We got this Ibanez Prestige Gem or Gem Prestige. I mean, look at the crazy detail on the little tuner pegs too, it's insane. Anyway, Ibanez Prestige Gem had a bum battery cover, really beat, and we ended up finding out it was completely snapped in half. We took the right measurements, right off the part itself. We made a bunch of trial and error templates, right? And then we recreated all of the plastics just because we had the guitar here, so why not? And we ended up with a completely, you know, looks as good as new piece to use on the guitar. All DIY. I mean, I was lucky enough to have a laser cutter and stuff, but that said, all DIY on the guitar is as good as new. Super, super, super fun. Thanks for hanging out, watching the video. Like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. I certainly had a blast making it. and I'll see you guys in the next one.